Here's something else that I've only ever seen happening in storage trailers. Well, I can't really say that because I did have one customer that carried freight over the road, and he did this sometimes too. He always said it was just a temporary thing until I got there to replace the wood. We're inside of a dry van right now. Underneath this steel plate, this is a steel plate in case you can't tell in the picture, and this is the wood. And in a dry van, you normally have wooden floors. I've seen some Wabaches that had only like about 3 or 4 strips of wood, the rest would be aluminum. But you always got wood inside of a dry van that I've seen. There might be a trailer out there that I haven't seen. Generally, I've seen wooden floors in dry vans. Now, underneath this steel plate that's laying here on the floor, it's rotted out. And this storage trailer, the customer, when they wind up with a hole in the trailer floor or rotten or soft, a lot of them just put steel plates down. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the same screws that I use for replacing wooden floors. And it's, as you can see, on the head of this bolt or screw, because it takes a torque, but it's beveled to actually go down into the wood. Well, what I do when I put these plates in so these don't stick up, I go ahead and I drill the hole with a regular drill bit, normally 17/64, and then I go ahead and I bevel the hole with, some people call it a step bit, some people call it a unibit, and that way this head actually winds up flush or awful close to being flush with the steel plate, and it helps pull it down. And I always try and locate other screws so I can drill into the cross member. That way it helps pull that plate down. It helps to make the floor, which is part of the structure of a dry van, a little more solid because you're going into the cross member. So it doesn't interfere with the structural integrity. It helps bring some of it back. Not as good as if you replace it with brand new wood, but it's better than just going into the wood because the wood is rotted and the screws that are through the wood into the cross members really aren't holding that good. But if you go through this steel plate into the cross member, it's better than just going into the wood. I'm not going to bore you with watching me drill these holes, then use the step bit, unibit, the bevel. But when I get ready to put the first screw in, I'll go ahead and show you how I do that. But also while I'm drilling, once I get down through the steel plate here and into the wood, right before I start drilling into the cross member, I have somebody that I used to consider a friend that has stabbed me in the back so many times that I don't even talk to him anymore. But he always told me to use what he called coolant. I called it antifreeze because I'm from up north, and you always put antifreeze in to keep it from freezing. Down here in the south, they call it coolant because they really don't get cold enough to worry about it freezing. Generally, they more worry about keeping a motor cool. But antifreeze or coolant, what you put in your radiator. I usually try and get used stuff to work with this. One stuff that I've drained out of radiators that I don't want to put back in for various reasons. Once I drill down through this plate and in the wood, then I'll fill the hole up with antifreeze/coolant, and then I'll drill into the cross member. It helps to keep the drill bit cooler, and it prevents from breaking the drill bits as often, and it keeps you from wearing them out so quick. Here's the first screw that I'm getting ready to put in there, right here. I use a 1/2-inch drive impact. You can use a battery operated one, you can use an air impact, or a corded one, as long as you have some kind of impact to get the screw down in, just like this. Okay, now it's down in the cross member, and it's actually flush with the metal. I don't know if you can tell that it's flush there or not. It's And that's because I drilled it with the regular drill bit. This one here, which is 17/64. And then I followed up just the top part, just top steel plate with the unit bit. And that allowed the bevel of the head of the screw to go down in and actually draw down the metal against the wood. I don't know if you can tell if on the camera how it's drawn down against the floor like this, but and then like I said, I look for the other screws so I know where the other cross members are, and that's what I do. Depending on the size of the plate is how many screws I put in. This one here, I'm probably only going to put the 6 in. I put 2 up by the front wall. I'll put 2 here in this cross member, and then 2 at the back, the next cross member back, to hold this plate down. It's not like it's got to be held down there to try and pick the trailer up or anything. It's just covering up a soft spot of rot wood. You're not taking any of the wood out, you're just covering it up. Normally I only see this done in storage trailers. Well, I appreciate you watching the video. Come on back for the next one. Everybody out there, have a better day. And go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell button and all that for YouTube, so they know that we're actually liking the videos and we're watching them.